has grown by 24.1% since 2009, and it is expected to grow another 10% by the end of 2015. So with such staggering figures, it is really critical to consider this consumer experience for any branding approach to be successful at all levels. So at Coles, consumers can shop by category and easily find an entire list of vegetables that are available. Alternatively, they can also type in Australian grown in the search engine, and they can then find Aussie produce that way. Australian produce is well identified. I know it's a bit small on the screen, but we see here product of Australia. Every produce, the country of origin is well identified, and when not specified, we can actually click on the item and find more information. So in this case, we can clearly see that this product is from Mexico or Peru. At Woolworths, shoppers can browse through categories, but in a much more visual format through a series of images like this. Australian produce is identified by the Australian grown logo, and once again, consumers can click on that logo to browse through all the Australian grown produce that Woolies has got on offer. The provenance of fresh produce at Woolworths is not that easy to find out if it's not from Australia. So in this case, and very often, even if we click on the item, we can't even find out more than this, so it is lacking. With the frozen vegetables, it's not the same picture. We really can't easily find out the provenance of those products at either Coles or Woolworths. Fortunately at Coles, if we do click on individual items, we can gather some additional information, which also includes the country of origin. So again, it's quite small, but the product of China, product of New Zealand, and made in Australia from local and imported products. So that highlights again the country of origin labeling, which is really important. At Woolworths, a bit of a sad story. Consumers that browse through the frozen fruit sector will only get prompted by a randomized generation of branded products. And unless they know for what brand they should go for, there is no way to find out the provenance of the produce. So even by clicking on the individual items, aside from the actual packaging that's displayed on the photo, there's no way to find out the provenance of the product. So we need to keep in mind that depending on what devices consumers are using, this can actually be quite small and not easy to find out. So with the web being such a strong medium to provide information to consumers, at a click of a button, people that are shopping online can be provided with additional information. They can be directed to a supplier's website or even to a video profile of a farmer. I mean, the possibilities are nearly endless in terms of information sharing. What is it that we want to provide consumers with? We need to remember that this is an industry that's expected to be worth around $13.7 billion at the end of 2015, and our industry needs to embrace this new way of doing grocery shopping. So on this note, I'll hand back over to Jules for him to conclude the branding presentation. Thank you. Well, as I have introduced myself before, now I suppose it's my turn to ask you a question and learn something about you. So who in the audience here today uses social media? By a show of hands. Yeah? Well, luckily there's some people that do use social media, because this is the challenge that myself and my teammates have set ourselves to create and launch a social media campaign that would truly embody the spirit of Growing Leaders 2015. But more importantly, we wanted to share the group's vision and mission on a public platform. We felt that the vegetable industry would benefit from moving away from traditional product promotion and instead shine the light on the industry as a whole. Not unlike the famous legendary campaign that Dairy Australia developed about 2 years ago. So our purpose, as Charmaine explained, was to showcase the people of our value chains, the wide variety of professionals that truly underpin our industry's capabilities. We wanted to promote unity and confidence across all production horticulture. And just like Julian's holistic approach to branding, we strive for a wholesome approach to industry promotion, encompassing all stakeholders from primary producers to consumers. Our resources being very limited, we knew from the get-go that we would not be able to develop an extensive marketing package, but we saw value in developing a pilot product that we could promote through our own professional networks and using Facebook and Twitter. A pilot campaign that bigger organizations like HIA, OzVeg, or farming organizations could adapt and leverage into a full-blown media campaign. So after a brainstorming session, we came up with the name Horticulture Connections and the catchy phrase, I belong. We then set ourselves on a mission to get initial support of our concept for our own professional networks. So who did we talk to? We talked to dozens of people. Of course, we talked to growers, but organic farmers, conventional farmers, big, small corporations, mechanics, agronomists, retail assistants, dietitians, policy advisors, and everyone we talked to believed in our concept, and they've all agreed to have their photos taken, holding a sign stating, I belong. After that stage, the project was pretty straightforward. We all agreed to a defined timeline, and we were committed to it. We gathered all our photos and placed them into a simple video. We then created a Facebook page and a Twitter account so that we can host the initial activity of the campaign. And on the 31st of August, we launched our video on both social media about 2 weeks prior to this last residential, and we've been promoting it ever since. So now that I've talked about this video, I'm very proud to show you what we've done.